Hey there friends, how's it going today? David Potts with Song Notes, and today I'm going to do a melody deep dive looking at Neil Diamond's classic Sweet Caroline. So John, this one's going out to you. You sent me a few messages asking about it with some specific questions about the pre-chorus and the timing. I got to practicing it, and I put this lesson together in the past week as I've been sort of learning how to play this all over the fretboard. So I'm going to start things off pretty simple, y'all. I'm going to teach it to you in open position. I'll have the tabs on the screen, right? If you don't care about music theory or any of that stuff, I got you covered, right? You can jump ahead using the timestamps if you're really in a hurry. But for all of you who want to understand how this sort of thing works, right? How melody works, how you can play it, whether you're in open position or any of the other A major scale shapes, I'll show you how to do it, right? And this is literally the stuff I've been learning and practicing the past week. And looking at where I was a week ago, I put a post in the Song Notes forum showing you my first night or two of practice versus where I am now. I feel so much more confident and so much more in control of the A major scale in all these different places, and it's just so satisfying. So let's get into it, and I'll take it section by section. All my notes and everything you can access on my website, songnotes.net. I have a cool practice track you can use, and you can use that even if you want to practice strumming or singing or anything else for this song. But let's start with the verse and get on into this one and have some fun. So here's what the verse melody sounds like, and then I'll talk about what's going on under the hood here. Okay, so again, we are in the key of A major, and we're in open position at first. No capo, standard tuning. So the first thing I want to bring up here as we look at this tab is whenever you're looking at a tab like this, right, first break things into phrases, right? Here I see three distinct phrases. We have this first one, right, oh, where it began. And the second one, right, I can't begin to knowing. And then the third phrase, but then I know it's growing strong. Okay, now if we ignore that final note, that low open E string note, notice that each phrase has just three notes. Okay, what this lets us do is it lets us throw rhythm out the window. Forget about counting and how long you stay on each note or whatever. Basically, the first phrase is just these three notes. Okay, the second phrase is just these three notes. And then the final phrase, all on the fifth string. Right? Throw aside how many times you play each note. If we can just sort of understand the notes that we're on the hook for playing, it can be a great sort of crutch when we're learning this stuff. So that first phrase, second phrase, third phrase. And do you notice what's going on here? There is a lot of overlap between each of these phrases. And if we put together all the notes, we get these five notes. And I share that because you might recognize that sound, right? Do, re, mi, fa, so. It's the first five notes of the major scale, where A is our root notes. This is the A major scale. And now we're talking, because this teaches us basically, number one, this melody is all coming from the A major scale. And this is true for the pre-chorus and the chorus, which I'll get to next. But this is one of those reasons why learning the major scale can be incredibly helpful, because it teaches our fingers where to go. Okay. Right? And if we're used to playing those sequence of notes, and we look at this again, we see, oh, that first phrase of the verse, it's just going from the third to the fourth to the fifth note, right? And that second phrase is going from the second to the third to the fourth note. That last phrase is from the first to the second to the third. Okay? So that's a little trick there I just want to bring up, is that this verse, break it into phrases, understand that it's just three notes are being used in each phrase, and it starts on the third note in the A major scale. The second phrase starts on the second note in the scale, and the third phrase starts on the root note itself, right? And it ends on that low E string. Let's go to the pre-chorus. Here's what that sounds like. Lots of space in the pre-chorus, right? Lots of space where we're not playing anything. Now, the thing I want to call out here, a couple things. Number one, the note we start on is an E. The second fret of the fourth string is an E note. And if we look at any of our diagrams, we'll see that E, again, is the fifth note in the A major scale. It's a perfect fifth relative to A. And in this whole phrase, if we just ignore the rhythm, right, we're just going from the fifth to the 6th, to the major 7th, up to the next root, and then we're going to the 2nd, right? So we're starting on the 5th degree of the scale, and we're just going up the scale to the root, and then one note past it. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. Those are all the notes we're playing. So it's just, again, the A major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the notes we used in the verse. Now in the pre-chorus, we're just going up the scale from there. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. Okay, so it's all the A major scale. Now here's the thing about this pre-chorus. The timing is tricky. Okay, hands always happens on the 1 count. Hands, feet, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Touching hands, this is the tricky part. It starts on the 2 count, okay? So if you were counting it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, right? So it's on that 2 count of the 3rd measure, right? That's a tricky thing if you're playing this, is you don't want to play it on the 1. You want to wait till the 2 count. And then again, for reaching out, a little bit of a stretch there from 4 to 1. That's happening on the 2 count also. I think technically Neil Diamond is doing it slightly after the 2 count and even closer to the 3 count. But I'm just writing it up on the 2 because Neil Diamond changes it every time a little bit here. But the important part is that for hands is on the 1 count, touching hands is on the 2 count, right? Reaching out is on the 2 count as well. Touching me starts on the 2 count. And then touching, and then you is on the 1 count of the final measure of this sequence. Touching you, and then we do this walk up. Okay, and then we are going to get to the chorus. But listen to it one more time. And when I put on this track of me playing the pre-chorus, I want you to try to count along, all right? And then we get to the chorus of this song. Now the chorus is vocally, or the range of this is kind of all over the place. We're going to start up here on this major 3rd, right? This is the major 3rd, an octave above where we started the song. Okay, both of these are the note C sharp, right? But we're going to go from this. So this one was a bit trickier for me to get the hang of because there's a lot more jumping around, right? The verse and the pre-chorus all kind of stay within a tight pocket, whereas this one is jumping from the 2nd string down to the 4th string a few different times. So it's trickier to play, and it's also harder to understand what's going on. But here's how I would approach thinking about it. In that first measure, right? Sweet Caroline. The way I would think about this is A major is the chord that we're playing, and those first 2 melody notes we're playing, right, are coming from the A major triad here, the A major chord. This is a C sharp, and this is an E, okay? But if you think of this in terms of scale degrees, this is a 3rd, a major 3rd, and we're going down to the 5th, right? But even if you don't think about that, just think that I'm gonna start on this 2nd string and then go to the 4th string, and they're just the notes that are in the A major chord shape. That's kind of how I think about it, right? Then you're gonna have to put your ring finger on this F sharp note, right? Okay, that's going to lead us into this measure of D. We're actually going to be on D for 3 full measures here. And here's how I think about this. This is how you play a D major, right? Now, you don't technically do it a lot of the time, but this would be a D major with an F sharp on the bass note, 4th string, right? F sharp is in the D major triad. D is built with our D note, our F sharp, and our A, okay? And what I remember here is that I'm starting on the F sharp, right? So Sweet Caroline. This is my F sharp. Then I go ba ba bum. As I jump from this F sharp to this ba, this note is a D. This is a C sharp, and I go back to the F sharp, okay? So there's a lot of F sharp to D in this whole sequence here, right? Sweet Caroline. Ba, ba, bum, ba, ba, ba. Then I'm just going to walk down on the 2nd string, all A major scale, D to C sharp to B to A, that familiar F sharp, which is going to resolve on the E. Now the E is going to be appropriate here because this is over an E major chord. And then we're going to walk up here. And the way I think about this walk up is it's if A is our second fret of the third string, it's going to be the major seventh to the root note and then to the second, right? So 7, 1, 2, 3, 5, 5, 6. Now, the second time through, we're going to end with this walk down. Would but not I. Okay, so what are these notes? Well, this is a B, which is the second degree of the scale. Then we go to the A, which is the first. So 2 to 1 to the 7 to the 6. So this is a walk down, right? We're going to end the chorus normally with a walk up. 7, 1, 2. Da, 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 da. But we end it with a walk down from 2 to 1 to 7 to 6. And then the implied ending note would be a 5, okay? The E note. Now, that is how you play the chorus with the tab in open position. But what I want to show you is how you can do the same thing for all sections anywhere else on the fretboard. So what I want to do is take one other major scale shape and really do a deep dive. The one that I have had the most luck with is this C shape of A major, right? Okay, now this shape, this note right here is kind of a real pain to hit. Technically, I think you probably would want to use your pinky if you have a cutaway or you're comfortable. I actually find it helpful to use my ring. And then you can keep going from this root note. Now this is a great little pocket for lead guitar, this thin as 3 or 4 strings. But the cool part is we can play the entire melody in this position. So let's use what we've already learned here. So check this out. I have a diagram showing you all the notes in this major scale position. Now this first phrase, right? Again, it starts on the 3. 3, 4, 5, 5, right? This is not the fret numbers. This is the scale degrees. And then just 2, 3, 4, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 3. And then down to the 5th degree of the scale, the low E. You can also do it here if you want, right? Okay, so one more time. And when the second time you play it, you end on the 2nd degree of the scale, okay? So that's how you do that first part. Now the second part, remember it starts on the 5th, right? Which is, I always remember this as, if this is my A major triad, this is the 3, the 1, the 5. See how I'm playing this D shape? 3, 1, 5. That third fret of the, third string, this is, I don't know what fret this is, 9th fret? This is our 5th degree of the scale in this position, right? 1, 7, 6, 5, 5, 6, 7, 1, okay? Again, if all this scale degree stuff is over your head, I recommend, number 1, pick any of these caged shapes. I'm using the C shape here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You don't have to do this, but if you're interested in this sort of thing, this shape is helpful on the thinnest couple strings especially, right? And this is where I've been sort of playing it here. But let me, again, start on for part 2, we're going to start on that 5th degree of the scale. Hands. Remember, this section goes from the 5 to the 6 to the 7 to the 1 to the 2. Right, that's why it's worth practicing these scales. It's just 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. But if we do it in the context of Sweet Caroline, it's going to be hands, touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you, right? And then just walk up into the chorus, 7, 1, 2, 3. So the chorus starts on the major third. And now this is where I find this position actually more helpful than open position, where we originally learned it, right? Same thing where we're going to jump. Now, just for my money, I find this little section easier to play this melody compared to the open thing I showed you. You could do it there, but over here, right? right? It ends with the 7 1 2 3 5 5 6 4 3 6 6 4 4 3 2 1 2 1 7 6 5. Okay, that fifth is implied there. So here is what it sounds like in this position if we do the entire thing. So in close, y'all, again, what I recommend doing is on the lesson page for this lesson, I have this PDF that I made. Okay, this shows you the A major scale in all the different cage shapes as well as an open position. And if you're interested in learning any of these, just start with one. You don't need to learn all these at once, right? I think a good one to learn actually could be this E shape, right? Starting on the 5th fret of the 6th string. You could learn this scale, and if you just remember, hey, we start on the 3rd degree. 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 5. Was in the spring, springtime became the summer. Who'd ever thought you'd come along? I think it's so incredibly helpful to practice this sort of thing using your ear and your understanding of scale shapes. Don't always rely just on tabs. At least in my opinion. Tabs are helpful for telling you exactly what to play, but they don't do the best job showing you the spatial relationship of things. And the cool part is, the cool thing about this E shape is it's 2 octaves. So you could take this 2nd octave and you could play the melody, right? If I know it starts on 3, 4, 5, I just start on the 1, find my 3rd. Okay, this is 3, 4, 5. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 5. 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 2, 1, 5. Da 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 da. And remember, this next part just starts on the hands touching hands, reaching out. Starts on the 5, and it just walks up the scale. Hands touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. 7 1 2 2. And this is the cool part. You can get to is you can start combining these scale shapes to play the whole melody. So what I just did, I just played it using the upper half of this E shape. I've practiced that shape probably more than any other scale shape. But, da da da, sweet Caroline. Da, da. So you saw that I jumped to this C shape, right? So that's me understanding that this E shape connects to the D shape. And the D shape connects to the C shape, right? Caged, right? Caged ends with D and it restarts with C. Now, the final thing I'll say, the benefit of practicing this sort of thing is as you spend more and more time with it. First of all, if you want to learn this, pick one scale position. Whether it's, I would start with open position or any of these, just pick one and learn the whole thing, right? As you get comfortable, you can extend to one other scale position. But as you spend more and more time with it, if you feel compelled to do so, you might not, right? As a guitarist, you need to be your own captain of the boat, right? You don't need to just be punishing yourself with what teachers tell you to practice all the time. In my opinion, I think you really need to find things that are interesting for you too. But for me, what has been awesome about learning this over the past week is I just find myself kind of getting more and more comfortable. My hands know what to do more. And then my brain is freed up to be like, well, what can I do this? Like, for example, one thing I took the D shape and I started off on the 3rd string when it began. And then I was like, what, couldn't I just play the next line of the melody on the same string? So I'm switching down to the previous shape, the E shape. Da, 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 da. Then I'm still on the 3rd string. Let me go down even further. Da 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 da. Bum. So I'm kind of just jumping between shapes there, and at that point I just kind of you're kind of developing this like logical understanding of the fretboard, because you know that if this is an A, I can play the whole major scale on one string. And if I can do that, well, I start this melody on the 3rd note. Okay, when it began, I can't begin to know when, but then I know it's growing strong. Wasn't the springtime became the summer. Who'd ever thought you'd come along? Then go to the 5th and start the next one. Hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. I haven't gone that high before, but that's what I'm talking about, is you kind of start to be able to play with more and more confidence as you start to internalize this melody. Now, it benefits from understanding the major scale, understanding the distance between, knowing that you have your root note, your major 2nd, your major 3rd. The 3rd and the 4th are a fret apart. The 5, the 6, the 7, and from the 7 to the root is always a half fret. So if you remember that, I mean, it's all these things starting to work together. That's the fun of guitar. So I've probably gone a little bit over my time here. Let me explain how to get all this stuff. So on my website, songnotes.net, I have a practice track. You can use that to play a progression that imitates Sweet Caroline in the key of A. You can practice your strumming, practice all this lead guitar stuff. It loops over and over for 5 minutes. That's there waiting for you. I also have some of these A major sheets that are available they're on this lesson page, right? They'll show you the A major scale and all these positions. I'll link out to my A major cheat sheet. And I have this diagram showing you, some of these phrases in a few different positions is available there as well. Now, if you want to learn how to strum Sweet Caroline, I have a separate lesson teaching you that. I have a separate playthrough teaching you that that's a bit newer. And I just updated my song sheet. Okay, it's 6 pages now. It's all redone. This was my 15th lesson, so the original song sheet was not as polished. This new one is very polished. If you've already bought Sweet Caroline, just check the website where you bought it from, and you're going to find that it's there for you, right? Now, the song sheet, the final thing I should note, if you never bought my song sheets before, these are available for purchase on a separate site that does licensing and all that stuff. I can't give these away as part of membership. So if you join my site, songnotes.net, you get access to all my courses, my extended videos, jam tracks, and everything, right? The cheat sheets I make. But the song sheets, unless it's a traditional song, if it's a traditional song, like it doesn't fall under copyright, I can give it away, like Amazing Grace, for example. But for anything modern, like Sweet Caroline, it falls under copyright, so I can't give that away. That's a separate purchase. More info at songnotes.net. Thank you for all of you who are supporting me with membership. John, again, I hope you found this helpful. If you guys want more melody stuff, just go to songnotes.net, search melody. I have tons of other lessons showing you this kind of thing in different approaches. And I'm always curious what you all find helpful and what you guys want to learn. So let me know in the comments or shoot me an email or post in the Song Notes forum. But I'll see you in the next one. And until then, my friends, take care and bye-bye.